Alright guys, so this is the tutorial to yesterday's giveaway, and yeah. So first of all, this Gura giveaway right here, it consists of a Gura model which I have already created some years ago, and I have already made a video on that, so the link is in the description. And in today's tutorial, we will just update that Gura model for a little, and you have already seen the outcome in the giveaway video, okay? So we are going to tweak it a little because, as you can see, we have 3 tools in total. So we are going to sum that up in one tool, and we're going to add some camera shake effects to it, and then we are pretty much done. So let's do that. Okay, first of all, let's insert a tool, and let's call it Gura. Now let's add a local script inside of it. I'll check out the local script of one of these right here. So okay. Interesting thing. Wait, let's just check out those moves first of all. There is already supposed to be some kind of camera movement, but there is not, for whatever reason. So that's pretty weird. Wait. Anyways, wait. So we're going to take care of it. So let's copy everything above here. So we're actually able to hold it. Okay, so those are holdable moves. Okay. So now local equipped. Well, so I'm going to explain all of this, so do not worry. Script parent, equipped connect function, equip true. Script parent equipped connect function. Not equipped, but unequipped. Equipped false. Now, user input service input began connect function. There we go. Input GPE. If not GPE and equipped, then. Okay, there we go. So input key code and then key code. Now let's select a key. Let's select Q, for example. Now let's start off with this earth crack move right here. So first things first, let's copy all of these and enable. Let's wait. Oh, okay, so that's what enable does. If cooldown. All right. Let's copy all of this. Instead of input began, we're going to do input ended. And I'm going to explain everything, so do not worry. Okay, so let's check this out. Let's see what this does. Okay, so it does nothing. It really does nothing. Remote is tool parent. And instead of having it this way, let's put everything inside of here. So remote is script, wait for child, Gura remote, script parent. Okay, everything is all right over here. Wait. So I have to do some small checks to see what a script already is. Okay, so he's not able to get past this point. But why? Like, why? Come on, why? It still does not work. It still does not work. Let's get rid of this enabled right here. Wait. Why isn't this working? So... let's see what happens at this point. Still's false. Okay. Script parent equipped. Wait, where's the problem with this? Script. Wait. Tool equipped connect function. And now the same for this one. Where's the problem? Let me tell you what the problem is. Make sure that requires handlers faults. Okay, now. There we go. There we go. Now things do work. Okay, so we actually do not need to add any camera movement at this point. We only have to sum everything up instead of this one tool. Okay, there we go now. Finally. So that's it for Earthquake. Okay. Let's do it for all of the other moves as well. And if you take a look at the code right here, it actually is the same as the Earthquake thing. Therefore, we can do the following. So, if not GPE and enable and equipped, and up here, we can do or input key code. E and then key code E or input, come on, key code R and then key code R. Now let me explain later on what E and R will do, but they are basically the moves for Quake and Tsunami. Now wait. E or R, then okay, so Earthquake, and the other thing should be Tsunami. Exactly, okay. So Earthquake and Tsunami. Now let me get rid of those two as well. And our transformation, our tweening up, no, not tweening up, but tweaking up is pretty much done. So that's the first move. He is not a valid member of enum key code E. Is he dumb or something? Is he dumb? Input key code, enum key code E. Yo, is he dumb? Okay. Yeah, so we have to get rid of the keys right here. Okay, so that was the issue. Now, wait. Now things should work. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let me just quickly explain what the code right here does, and then I'll finish this tutorial. So, right here, we have a bunch of variables which we have defined. The first variable is the tool, okay? The second one is the player. The third one is the user input service, so responsible for detecting the user's input. The fourth one is the remote event right here, which established some kind of connection, communication, in between the local script and the server script. The fifth one is a cooldown value, which is important for cooldown, etc. The sixth one is a character. The seventh one is a variable which determines or which represents whether the player is holding a key. So this Gura tool right here, it mainly works with holding. So the more you hold, the stronger your attack becomes, and also the stronger the camera effect becomes. And in terms of holding, we also have this holding value right here, which represents the intensity of your hold. And the last variable right here, it determines whether the tool has been equipped or not. And those two lines, no, not lines, but parts of code right here, so tool.equipped marks the equipped event of this tool. Basically, when the tool has been equipped, we want this equipped variable right here to turn to true. And the same thing goes for the opposite case. So when the tool has been unequipped, then we want the same thing happen for the unequipped event, means equipped equals false. Now right here, we have this user input service, input began event, which basically, realizes when you have done some kind of input. And when there is an input, or when an input has began, so you really have to differentiate in between an input which has just begun and an input which has ended, because an input is basically just you inputting something to the computer. So this could be when you press the key, for example. But input began marks the beginning of this input, and ended right here, down here, marks the ending of that input. And those two events are important when it comes to creating this hold effect, which we are now going to make use of. So when an input has begun, we receive the input as an argument, which is basically the input, okay? So either a key which has been pressed or a mouse button which has been pressed whatsoever. The second argument is the game processed event, so acronym is GPE. And this basically represents whether the player has done the input while interacting with any in-game elements. Means if you have pressed E while typing something in the chat or something like that. And this check right here, this first check, basically excludes this event that something has been done while interacting with, or the input has been done while interacting with in-game elements, because those are the cases when you have not done that input on purpose. And we want to exclude those cases, okay? The second requirement right here is that the tool is equipped, because if it was not equipped, then it should not be able to attack. Makes sense, all right? Now, the second check right here basically checks whether the input is Q, E, O, or R. You might ask why. So why don't we differentiate in between each key? So why don't we have a single line for Q, a single line for E, or for R? Let me tell you, because the code for the case when you have pressed the Q key is the exact same as for the E key and for the R key. because all of those right here, they will load up this holding value. So it basically just consists of checking whether there is a cooldown or the player is currently holding something. And if that's not the case, then there is a cooldown, and then the player starts holding something, and then we just increase the hold value. So that's basically what Q, E, and R would do when they have been pressed. Therefore, we can just sum all of these keys up inside of this one check, because they all have the exact same code, which is this code right here. Now, while the holding value is being increased by 1 because of this loop, we have the opposite case, means when the input has ended. Now, this loop right here, it only lasts till holding stays true. What happens when we say that holding equals false? Then this loop will collapse or break, and our holding value right here will stop being increased. And that's basically what happens down here. So input ended marks the end of an input, and the same thing right here. So input and GPE, and we check whether this input has not been done while interacting with in-game elements, and we want the tool to be equipped. So if those two requirements are met, then we have the next requirement right here, which is the exact same as above here. So Q, E, and R will have pretty much the same code, pretty much the same. Well, only applies on this and this part, because this part right here, it actually differentiates in between all of these single keys, but that's another topic. So when we have let go of the Q, E, or R key, then we want holding to be false, and this will lead to this holding value to be stopped from increasing, because this loop right here breaks, because this requirement is not met anymore, because holding is not true anymore. And after that, we differentiate in between all of these single keys. So if the Q key has been pressed, then we want to fire server this remote event right here, which leads to the creation of this earth crack or crack punch attack. Okay, and the exact same goes for the E key, because the E key will lead to the earthquake attack, and the R key will lead to the tsunami attack. And we always pass this holding value into it, because the holding value, as you guys should remember, represents the intensity of your holding. So how much you have held a certain key, and this will determine the intensity of one attack. Now after that, we have the spawn function, means the code in between right here will run apart from the rest. And right here, well, back then I did not work with tweening, but we have some kind of alternative to tweening. So we have this for I loop, and it basically, well, just messes up the camera, so it creates this camera shake. And well, you guys probably see the math behind of it. So as you can see, there is a lot of holding value inside of it, means the holding value really determines the intensity of your camera shake. So that's everything you should understand so far for this camera manipulation part right here. And at the end of all of these shaking, we want the offset to be reverted again. Now after 2 seconds, we want the cooldown to be false, so there's no cooldown, and the holding value to be 0, because the holding value, you know, was representing the intensity. Alright, so with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, share this video to all of your friends. Leave me feedback in the comment section, guys. Take care, and see you in the next giveaway video, guys. Okay.